A very good morning to you students. In last class, in detail, you have studied about the process of recombinant DNA technology. In last class, in detail, you have studied about the process of recombinant DNA technology. And here it is the end of the topic, principles and process of biotechnology. Okay, here we have completed the topic that is principles and process of biotechnology. Okay, so many important points in concern with the same topic you have studied. Usually from this topic you will get the 5 marks questions. If the question is split, then you will get the 2 marks, 1 mark question, but you will get these questions only in 5 marks only. Understood? Usually from this topic you will get the 5 marks questions. Okay, already I have sent you the important questions in concern with the same topic, principles and process of biotechnology. Okay, if you want to prepare for the examination, then you prepare the 5 marks questions like this. That is tools of recombinant DNA technology. This question you will get for 5 marks. Even you will get the naming of restriction enzymes. This question also you will get for 3 marks or 5 marks. And even you will get the question like this: how to insert the techniques to insert the desired gene into the host cell. Techniques to insert the desired gene into the host cell. Okay, for this you have studied the so many techniques. Micro-injection gene gun method is there. Agrobacterium mediated gene transfer is there. Retrovirus mediated gene transfer is there. Shock treatment. Okay, these all are the methods to insert the desired gene into the host cell, which you have already studied. Okay, then next question is separation and isolation of desired gene. Separation and isolation of desired gene. For this, you have studied the gel electrophoresis. This question also you can expect for the 5 marks. Gel electrophoresis. This is the technique to separate the DNA fragments. Separation of DNA fragments based on their length. For this, we are following the technique that is the gel electrophoresis. Okay, then if you want to multiply the desired gene, then you have to follow the particular technique that is gene amplification. Gene amplification, which is also called as the PCR. And this question also you can expect for 5 marks. That is PCR is there. And last one, that is process of recombinant DNA technology. Okay, these all questions are there which we can expect for 5 marks. Okay, these all are the important points, important concepts in concern with the topic principles and process of biotechnology. You just prepare these all questions. Understood what all the important points are there about the principles and process of biotechnology? Just now what I told. Okay, then before moving to the next topic, next topic what it is? Applications of biotechnology is there. Next topic is applications of biotechnology. Okay, before moving to the actual next topic here, I want to recall what all the topics I have already completed. Already I have completed the 3 topics. Okay, in that first one is the reproduction in organism. Second topic is molecular basis of inheritance, also I have completed. And third one is principles and process of biotechnology. Okay, here before starting the last topic, that is the the applications of biotechnology, I want to recall these all topics. I want to take revision of these topics. Understood? Okay, here we'll start with the first topic, that is chapter 1, reproduction in organisms. Okay, in detail already I have explained the particular topic. Okay, in the particular topic, what all the important points we have studied, just you recall here. What all the important points we have studied in concern with the topic reproduction in organism? The first point is the definition of the reproduction. Definition of the reproduction you already studied, and we know that reproduction is one of the important character of all living organism. Understood? And here the definition of the reproduction we have studied. Lifespan already we have studied. What is the lifespan? Okay, then types of reproduction we have studied. Different types of the reproduction. Mainly we have seen that two types of the reproduction. One is the asexual reproduction, another one is the sexual reproduction. Understood? And in detail about the asexual reproduction we have studied in this topic, and some brief concepts about the sexual reproduction also you have studied in this topic. In detail about the sexual reproduction you have already studied in the second topic, sexual reproduction in flowering plants, isn't it? Okay, then in asexual reproduction, how organisms are reproduced asexually? How organisms are reproduced asexually? So many different methods of asexual reproduction we have studied. In that, first one is the cell division, second one is the budding, third one is the binary fission, and and here the organisms, even they can be reproduced asexually by vegetative means. Vegetative reproduction also you have studied. Understood? Fragmentation you have studied. Understood? These all are the different methods of asexual reproduction. And in the same topic, some brief concepts about the sexual reproduction you have studied. Okay, here first you have studied the phases in sexually reproducing organisms. Phases in sexually reproducing organisms you have studied. Even you have studied that the reproductive phases you have studied. Reproductive phases in animals you have studied. Reproductive cycles you have studied. And even how actually the sexual reproduction takes place in organisms. Events in sexual reproduction you have studied. Pre-fertilization event and fertilization and post-fertilization events, what you have studied already in detail. Understood? Okay, what I told here, I want to take a revision of this topic. What I told. Okay, about the particular topic reproduction in organism, I have collected some important questions. I have collected here some important questions about the topic. Okay, these all questions from where I have collected means we have collected the question paper since from 2014 to 2019. Okay, in 1 year you will get the 2 question papers. March annual examination question paper, and in the month of July you will get the supplementary exam question paper also. Means here we have collected both the question papers since from the 2014 to 2019 we have collected the question papers, annual question paper and the supplementary exam question paper, and from that here about from this topic what all the questions are appeared, those questions I want to discuss here in the today's class. Following here, we have collected the important questions from the last question papers 2000, since from the 2014 till 2019. Okay, from that question paper we have isolated the questions from the particular topic. Understood? And in today's class we will discuss about those important questions. They have asked the questions for 1 mark, 2 mark, 3 mark, and even you will expect the question for 5 marks also. Understood? We can see those important questions. Okay. Here you can see the first question. What are hermaphrodites? Mention one example. What are hermaphrodite? Mention one example. Okay, this question they have asked for 2 marks. This question they have asked for 2 marks. Here, this question you will get in the March 2014 question paper. March 2014 annual question paper. This question was there here. The question is, what are hermaphrodites? Mention one example. Okay, answer for this. As I told here, the particular question they have asked for 2 marks. And what answer you have to write means the definition of the hermaphrodites you have to write. Already you have studied the sexuality in organisms you have studied. What you have studied? Sexuality in organism. In the same topic, reproduction in organism, you have studied the particular concept that is sexuality in organisms. And first point what you have studied is sexuality in plants you have seen, and then you have studied the sexuality in animals. Okay, you have seen that unisexual plants and the bisexual plants. You have studied the unisexual and bisexual. Unisexual is also called as the dioecious. Unisexual is also called as dioecious, or it is also called as heterothallic. The particular condition is also called as the heterothallic. Unisexual, uni is nothing but the single. The plants which are having either male flowers or female flowers but not both. Getting my point? What is unisexual? Uni is nothing but single. In the particular plant, either male reproductive structure is present or female reproductive structure is present. Any one is present, not the both. Such a condition is called as the unisexual, which is also called as the dioecious, which is also called as the heterothallic. Understood? And even in case of the plants, bisexual plants, we can say here. Bisexual. Bi is nothing but 2. Here in the plant, both the reproductive structures are present. Male reproductive structure is also be present and female reproductive structure is also present. Such plants are called as the bisexual plants. Getting my point? Bisexual, it is also called as the monoecious condition. Mono is nothing but a single. Here in the same plant, both the reproductive structures are present, which is also called as the homothallic condition. Understood? This is about the sexuality in plants. Okay, when you see here sexuality in animals, here unisexual or dioecious animals are there, bisexual or monoecious animals, which are also called as the hermaphrodites. Getting my point here? In case of the animals, unisexual animals are there, which are also called as the dioecious animals. Unisexual animals or dioecious animals, bisexual animals or monoecious animals, or which are also called as the hermaphrodites. Okay, unisexual animal is nothing but these are the animals which are having either male or female reproductive structures. These are the animals which are having either male or female reproductive structure. Any one reproductive structure is present, not the both. Unisexual animals, we can give the example. Here we can give the examples. All mammals you can take example. All mammals you can take example, in which we can see only one reproductive structure, either male reproductive structure or female reproductive structure. The individuals are different here. Therefore, it is called as unisexual, or which is also called as the dioecious. These are also be important. But here asked question is hermaphrodites. Hermaphrodites, just you can see the answer. Hermaphrodites are bisexual organisms, means these are the animals which possess both male and female reproductive organs. Here, what are hermaphrodites? You have to write the definition. What are hermaphrodites? Hermaphrodites are nothing but these are the bisexual animals, which are also called as the monoecious animals. Hermaphrodites are nothing but these are the bisexual animals, which are also called as the monoecious animals. means in these organisms both male and female reproductive structures are present. In the same individual, both male and female reproductive structures are present. Such animals are called as the bisexual animals. Such animals are also called as the monoecious condition, and that condition is also called as hermaphrodites. Okay, and this type of animal, what example we can give here? Okay, even they have asked, mention one example what they have asked, but here I have given some few. Earthworm also I have given, sponge what I have given, tapeworm, leech, these all examples we can give it for hermaphrodites. Any one if you write, that is more than enough. Here they have asked only one example, you write any one. Getting my point? Like this, what answer you have to write? Definition of the hermaphrodite, and below that you have to mention one example. Here so many examples what I have mentioned, but in examination you write only one. If you write these all also, it doesn't matter. But if you remember one, any one, you have to write in the answer paper. Understood? Okay, this is the first question. This question they have asked for 2 marks. Okay, then next question you see here. Offsprings of asexual reproduction are called clones. Offsprings of asexual reproduction are called clones. Okay, what are the here? Question arises is this: what are clones and why it is called as a clone? Offsprings of asexual reproduction are called clones. Why? They have asked here. The asexual reproduction, what the offsprings are produced, these offsprings are called as the clones. Why they are called as the clones? This is the question, and here this question is there for 1 mark. This question repeatedly they have asked, what are clones? What are clones? Repeatedly they have asked. Even you will get this question for 2014, 2015, 2016, like that. Repeatedly the same question they have asked. Understood? Some important, many times while explaining also we used to tell. While explaining also we used to tell that this question, this is very important. For what purpose we are telling like telling like that? It is because repeatedly the question was asked. Understood? For that sake we are telling here, this concept is very important. Many times they ask the question. Understood? In the same way, here the question repeatedly asked is, what are clones? Or here what question they have asked? Offsprings of asexual reproduction are called clones. Why? Okay, we know that the organisms which they reproduce asexually, and what the offsprings are produced. These offsprings are morphologically and genetically they are similar or they are identical. Getting my point? The organisms which they can be reproduced asexually, and what the offsprings are produced by undergoing the asexual reproduction, these offsprings are morphologically and genetically they are similar or they are identical. They are similar or identical. What I am telling, they are similar and or identical. They are similar to each other. They are identical to each other, and also they are exact copies of their parents. Therefore, they are called as the clones. How we can define the clone? Clones are nothing but the offsprings which are produced by undergoing the asexual reproduction are morphologically and genetically are identical, or the offsprings are identical to one another and also exact copies of their parents are called as clones. Getting my point here? Just you can see the answer. Offsprings are morphologically and genetically similar or identical, or the offsprings are identical to one another and also exact copies of their parents. Getting my point? Exact copies of their parents. Therefore, they are called as the clones. Understood? What are clones? For that also the same answer what you have to write. What are clones? Or morphologically and genetically identical offsprings are called as clones. Why? Why they have asked here? Because these offsprings are morphologically and genetically they are identical or similar to each other, and also they are exact copies of their parents, therefore they are called as the clones. This answer what you have to write. Repeatedly they have asked this question for 1 mark. Understood? Just you see here 2 questions what we have solved here. What are hermaphrodites? Mention one example, and another one question what we have solved is offsprings of asexual reproduction are called clones. Why? Understood? Why they are called as clones? Because they are morphologically and genetically identical to each other, and also they are exact copies of their parents, therefore they are called as the clones. Okay, then next question you see here. Repeatedly they have asked this question for 2 marks. Distinguish between homogametes and heterogametes. Distinguish between homogametes and heterogametes. This question also they have asked repeatedly. When you go through the question papers, you come to know that which concept is important, which concept you have to give more stress and read. You will come to know. When you will come to know means when you go through the question papers. By that, for preparing for the examination, while reading the topic, you will come to know that which concept is important. Understood? Okay, this is the question which they have asked repeatedly for 2 marks. Okay, distinguish between homogametes and heterogametes. What are homogametes and what are heterogametes? You see here the first difference. In that first one is here male and female. First you can see the homogametes. Male and female gametes are morphologically similar in their appearance. Here male and female gametes are produced. The organisms, the sexually reproducing organisms, what they are there? Sexually reproducing organisms, what they are there? They are capable to produce the gametes. And we know that gametes are haploid in nature. Single set of chromosome is present here. Okay, haploid in nature means how they can be produced here in the haploid? All the gametes are haploid in nature because gametes are produced by undergoing the meiotic cell division. Gametes are haploid in nature and they are produced by undergoing the meiotic cell division, meiosis. Meiosis is also called as the reductional cell division because it reduces the chromosome number to half. By that, diploid cells are get converted into haploid like this. The gametes are produced and these gametes are haploid in nature. But many different organisms are there. Some of the organisms are capable to produce the homogametes and some of the organisms are capable to produce the heterogametes. Understood? The organism is able to produce the gametes, but some organisms are there. These organisms are produce the gametes, both male and female gametes, and both the gametes are similar in appearance. If both male and female gametes are same in appearance, morphologically they are same, those gametes are called as the homogametes, and heterogametes are nothing but here the organism is able to produce the gametes, but both male and female gametes are dissimilar in appearance. Morphologically dissimilar. Understood? Heterogametes you see here male and female gametes are morphologically dissimilar. Getting my point? The first difference is homogametes are nothing but morphologically they are similar in appearance, and here heterogametes are nothing but morphologically they are dissimilar in their appearance. Okay, then second difference what you will write here? This is the, of course, homogametes means what? Homo is nothing but same. If both male and female gametes are same in appearance, then that is called as the homogamete. If both male and female gametes are not same, if they are different, then it is called as the heterogamete. This is the first difference. Even you have to write the second difference also. Here this question is there for 2 marks, means hardly you have to write only 2 difference. I have given you the 3 difference here. Okay, which one you will remember, you write it. Understood? Okay, here examiner, evaluator will expecting only the 2 differences. Here I have given 3. You write only 2 in examination. Following? Okay, then second difference you see. These gametes are produced by some algae and fungi, homogametes. These gametes are produced by some algae and fungi. And here in case of the heterogametes, you see the second difference. These gametes are produced in some sexually developed organisms. Okay, last difference you can see here. Here for the homogametes, we can give the example, some algae and fungi, what I told here. Rhizopus you can take example, Eulothrix you can take example. Okay, these are the organisms which are capable to produce the gametes. These gametes are homogametes. Understood? And here, in case of the heterogametes, these are produced in some sexually developed organisms. Some sexually developed organisms, you can take example of the gymnosperms. You can take example of the angiosperms. Here both male and female gametes are produced, but both male and female gametes are having different in their, difference in their appearance. For this, just you have to write only the difference. This question is there for 2 marks. Okay, just to remember purpose, I have given here the diagram also. Just you can see the below third slide, you can see here the diagram. By seeing this diagram, you are very easily capable to write the answer for, write the difference between, distinguish between homogametes and heterogametes. Just you can see the picture here. See the picture. First diagram, Chlamydomonas diagram is there. Zoospores, the Chlamydomonas diagram, what you are observing here. Second diagram you can see here, the female gamete and the male gamete you can see here, female gamete and the male gamete. And third one, usually you are able to see this type in case of the mammals. Human being also you can see the same picture. Okay, what I told here, homogametes, both male and female gametes, what they are produced here, they are same in their appearance. The first A diagram you can see here, which is labeled flagella, also they are having, nucleus is having, chloroplast is also be present. It is a Chlamydomonas, what we are telling. It is one of the green algae. It is one of the green algae. Okay, both are same in their appearance. Both are same in their appearance. Therefore, these we can give it example for homogametes. Understood? Okay, then next you can see here, next diagram you can see here, the male gamete and the female gamete. Okay, here heterogamete. For heterogamete you can see here the B diagram, what we are giving the example. Heterogamete. Hetero is nothing but different. Both male and female gametes are different in their appearance. Just you can see the size also you can consider. Male gamete is very small in size and female gamete is very bigger in size. Is it both are having the same in their appearance? Is it both are same in their appearance? No, because male gamete is very small in size and female gamete is very larger in size. Is it not? Both, and also morphologically they are dissimilar in their appearance. Okay, the C diagram also you can see here. C diagram, third diagram also you can see. This is the ovum, the circular structure what you are observing. This is the ovum, and sperms you can see here. They are long elongated structures, and ovum is a spherical structure. Is it morphologically they are same or they are different? Is it morphologically they are same or they are different? They are different here. Understood? Therefore, these are called as the heterogametes. These are called as the heterogamete. If this question appears here in the examination, just the particular diagram can be comes in your eyes, in front of your eyes. Understood? Keep in your mind by seeing these diagrams. Homo is nothing but the same and hetero is nothing but the different. Homogametes and the heterogametes. Understood? This is the question, that is the difference between the homogametes and the heterogametes. Distinguish between homogametes and the heterogametes. Here also the examples also we have given. Rhizopus, Eulothrix for the homogametes, the example we have given. And for the heterogametes we have given the example gymnosperms and the angiosperms. Heterogametes. Understood? Okay, we'll move to the next question. That is define parthenogenesis. Define parthenogenesis. Okay, repeatedly they have asked this question for 1 mark. What is parthenogenesis? Okay, you have already studied the events in sexual reproduction. In detail, we have studied events in sexual reproduction. In that, post-fertilization event, fertilization and pre-fertilization event. Okay, first step is pre-fertilization event. Before undergoing the sexual reproduction, many more structures have to get developed, and then only the particular organism is capable to reproduce sexually. Okay, that event is called as the pre-fertilization event. And when the structures are fully get developed, then the fertilization can be occur here. And we know that fertilization is also called as the syngamy. Understood? Okay, then here fertilization is also called as the syngamy. What I am telling, it is nothing but the fusion of both male and female gamete. It is the fusion of both male and female gamete. Okay, but here in some of the organisms, we can see that the new organism can be produced. The offsprings are produced without the fertilization. In some of the organisms, even we can see that the new organism can be produced without the fertilization. That process itself is called as the parthenogenesis. Just you can see what definition I have given here. Development of new organism from female gametes without fertilization. What is parthenogenesis? This question they have asked repeatedly for 1 mark. Development of new organisms from female gametes without fertilization is called as the parthenogenesis. Or even we can say that in some of the organisms, the egg develops into an embryo without being fertilized. Without undergoing the fertilization, the egg develops into an embryo. And from later, that embryo can be get developed into the new entire organism. And this process is called as the parthenogenesis. Here, parthenogenesis, Parthenes is nothing but its meaning is virgin. Its meaning is virgin, and genesis is nothing but the birth. It literally means virgin birth. Following here. And what the individuals are produced here? What the individuals are produced by undergoing the parthenogenesis? These individuals are called as parthenodes. These individuals are called as the parthenodes. Following here. Without undergoing the fertilization, the eggs are directly get converted into embryo, and from that embryo, new organism can be possible to get here. Understood? This process is called as the parthenogenesis. About this you have studied in detail. And what example we are giving for parthenogenesis? What type of organisms can be produced by undergoing the parthenogenesis. For that, we can give the example, honeybees are there, ants are there, and also some birds we can give the example. Understood? Usually they have not asked here the question, they have not at all asked the example, but I have mentioned here some examples also. Understood? Only you have to write the definition. What is parthenogenesis? It is nothing but development of new organism from female gamete without fertilization. Understood? This is about this question. Okay, we'll move to the next one question, which is asked for 3 marks. This concept is also very important. Repeatedly they have asked this question. Repeatedly they have asked this question for 3 marks. What is that question? Differentiate between menstrual cycle and estrous cycle. Differentiate between menstrual cycle and estrous cycle. Okay, you have studied the reproductive cycles. You have studied the reproductive cycles. Reproductive cycle is nothing but reproductive cycles. One concept in the same topic, reproduction in organism, you have studied, that is reproductive cycle. What is reproductive cycle? Reproductive cycle is nothing but the cyclic changes that occur in the female reproductive system of female mammals. That is the cyclic changes. Just you concentrate, students. Cyclic changes that occur in the female reproductive system. Cyclic changes that occur in the female reproductive system of female mammals is called as reproductive cycle. And mainly there are 2 types of the reproductive cycles are there. Menstrual cycle and the estrous cycle. Understood? Menstrual cycle is nothing but, what is menstrual cycle? Menstrual cycle is nothing but the periodic series of changes that occur in the female reproductive system of primates. Menstrual cycle, just you can see here, note down the menstrual cycle definition. Menstrual cycle is nothing but the periodic series of changes that occur in the female reproductive system of primates is called as the menstrual cycle. And what is estrous cycle means? Sexual or reproductive cycle in sexually matured non-primate female. Getting my point? What is estrous cycle? Sexual or reproductive cycle in sexually matured non-primate female. Understood? Menstrual cycle in which organisms it can be carried? In primates. Menstrual cycle can be occur in primates, and here estrous cycle can be occur in non-primates. Okay, for menstrual cycle, in which organism it can be takes place? For that we can give the example. Menstrual cycle in which organisms it can be occur? We can give it example. That is monkeys, in apes, and even in case of the human beings, the menstrual cycle can be takes place. And even estrous cycle, in what type of organisms it can be takes place? What are the examples? Okay, for that also we can give the example non-primates, what I told here. We can give the example cow, sheep, deer, dog, tiger, etc. We can give it example for the non-primates in which estrous cycle can be takes place. Okay, then how to differentiate? How to differentiate the menstrual cycle and the estrous cycle? Okay, first difference you can see in the menstrual cycle. Cyclic changes during reproduction in primates is menstrual cycle. Cyclic changes during reproduction in primates is called as menstrual cycle, and cyclic changes in non-primates is estrous cycle. It can be takes place in the primates and it can be takes place in non-primates. And second difference is females do not show irresistible sexual urge. This is the second difference. Definitely, of course, this question is there for 3 marks, means minimum 3 difference what you have to write. Understood? If you mention the examples, it is also very good. If you mention the examples for primates and non-primates, or menstrual cycle and the estrous cycle. Okay, second difference you can see in menstrual cycle. Females do not show irresistible sexual urge, but here you can see in estrous cycle, females show strong irresistible sexual urge. Understood? This is the second difference. Okay, third difference here, in case of the menstrual cycle, in the primates bleeding occurs, and here in non-primates bleeding does not occur. Understood? This is the third difference. If you want to mention the examples also, here in menstrual cycle you can mention the monkeys, apes and human beings, and in case of the estrous cycle even you can mention the cow, dog, sheep, tiger. So many organisms, so many animals are there, you can mention here in estrous cycle. Understood? This is the next question. Okay, we'll move to the next question. That is, name asexual reproductive structures in. Name asexual reproductive structures in. Name asexual reproductive structures in Hydra, Chlamydomonas and Penicillium. Okay, as I told here, many of the organisms are there. Many of the lower organisms are there which they can be reproduced asexually. And here the name asexual reproductive structure in Hydra, they have asked 3 different organisms they have mentioned here. In this, how these organisms can be reproduced asexually, that what question they have asked. And this question they have asked for 3 marks. This question they have asked for 3 marks. Mention the asexual reproduction in Hydra, asexual reproduction, asexual reproductive structure in Chlamydomonas, and even asexual reproductive structure in Penicillium. Okay, the answer is also I have given. Hydra, it can be reproduced asexually by budding. Hydra, it can be reproduced asexually by budding. Chlamydomonas, it can be reproduced asexually by producing the zoospores. It can be reproduced asexually by producing the zoospores. And Penicillium, it is nothing but it is one of the fungi. Penicillium is nothing but it is one of the fungi which it can be reproduced asexually by producing the conidiospores or conidia. Understood? Like this only, these reproductive structures, asexual reproductive structures, what you have to mention in the examination. For keeping in your mind, just for remember purpose, I have given these some important diagrams also. No need to draw these diagrams in paper. This question, of course, they have asked it for 3 marks. Each one carries 1 mark. What structure you will write in concern with the Hydra, that is budding or buds you have to write. Buds. If you write it carries 1 mark. Second answer, if you write zoospores, it will carry 2nd marks. And third question, that is the Penicillium, how it can be reproduced asexually, means by producing the conidiospores or conidia. Understood? Just for remember purpose, I have given here the diagrams also. Just you go through the diagram, see the picture also. Okay, first Hydra you can see. The first picture you can see here, Hydra. Just I will just magnify the structure. Here you can see. Magnify the structure. Hydra you can see here. Okay, first diagram, that is a tiny lump appearance here on parent Hydra. Just first diagram of the Hydra you can see at the lower portion. So small knob-like structure can be appear. It is nothing but the bud formation what we can see here. And second picture you can see in the same Hydra only. Parent Hydra develops buds. Develops the same bud what it is there, it can be undergo the developmental process, and you can see how it can be increase its size. Understood? And third step you can see here, bud grows. It can be grow and attain its maximum size. Okay, attain its maximum size, and when it can be attain its maximum size, you can see the last diagram, buds breaks off to become independent Hydra. Some of the organisms, they can be reproduced asexually by producing the buds, and this process is called as the budding. Understood? And here you can see the bud formation, how it can be produced and how it can be undergo the development, and once it can be fully get matured or fully get attained its size, then it can be detached from the parent body and it can be get developed into the new entire organism. Hydra can be reproduced asexually by producing the asexual reproductive structure, that is the bud. Understood? And second one, that is the Chlamydomonas. What they have asked, Chlamydomonas is nothing but it is one of the algae, and it can be produced asexually by producing the zoospores. These are the spores which they are motile in nature. Which they are motile in nature means they can be moved from one place to another place because they are having the locomotory organ called flagella. Understood? They are having the locomotory organ called flagella. Just you can see in the diagram also. The flagellas are there. These whip-like structure, long elongated hair-like structure, what you are observing here, it is called as the flagella. And how Chlamydomonas can be reproduced asexually by producing the spores. How the zoospores are produced. Just you can see the first life cycle of the Chlamydomonas, what it is there. Okay, here. Just you can see the second picture, Chlamydomonas, entire vegetative cell diagram is there. And second diagram, life cycle, what we are observing here. The second diagram, B diagram, what you are observing here. Here, withdrawn, flagella can be withdrawn. Flagella can be eliminated here, flagella can be withdrawn. Here there is no flagella. And longitudinal division of the protoplast can be takes place. By that the entire protoplast can be divided into two parts. And next diagram, D diagram, you can see here again vertical division can be takes place. By that here protoplast can be divided into 4 equal parts. Just you can see here. Okay, then these 4 equal parts protoplast division, what it is there, it can be get converted into zoospores, and when it can be, these zoospores, when they are fully get matured, they can be cut open that vegetative Chlamydomonas cell and large number of zoospores are released out. And when the zoospores can be go and fall on to the suitable substratum, environmental conditions are favorable, from these zoospores, new entire Chlamydomonas cell can be produced. Understood? Like this, the Chlamydomonas can be reproduced asexually by producing the zoospore. Okay, then next is the Penicillium. As I told here, Penicillium is nothing but it is one of the fungi. And we know that the entire plant body of the fungi is called as the mycelium. Mycelium is nothing but it is the group of fungal hyphae. And you know that fungal hyphae is nothing but it is long elongated cylindrical structure. Either it may be septate or it may be aseptate. Understood? And here fungal hyphae are there, and these fungal hyphae at the tip, it is capable to produce the spherical structure, and these spherical structures are called as the conidia, which are also called as the conidiospores. Understood? And they are attached, they are produced here in chains. Understood? And this is all about the particular question, that is the name asexual reproductive structures in Hydra, Chlamydomonas and Penicillium. Understood? This question is also very important. Repeatedly they have asked this question for 3 marks. Understood all of you? Understood all of you? Here in today's class, so many important questions we have solved, and we will stop here today. And in next class, I will take some more important questions of the same topic, that is reproduction in organism. Understood all of you? Okay, we will stop here. Thank you.